I wanted to take a trip down memory lane today and look at an old legend, the world's chillest man. Tony Tovar was in a situation where his local bar was being robbed at gunpoint and things didn't quite go as the robber planned. This happened in late 2019, and I think once COVID hit in 2020, a lot of people seem to have forgotten who the world's chillest man is, and I want this to serve as a reminder because the COVID era is like the Void Century from One Piece, and I haven't seen anyone mention Tony's name in a long time, and that's just not right.
He's the guy who became a national sensation as the world's chillest man.
Sometimes you just have to stand up to punks like that.
Tony Tovar just nonchalantly sat there, lighting up a cigarette as his favorite neighborhood bar was robbed.
I'll show you some clips from the full security camera footage in a moment because I don't think the Inside Edition Supercut does it justice with how badass this is. He is the Zen master. Tony is cooler than the other side of the pillow. He's just got ice in his veins. I don't think his heart rate ever went above 70 BPM. And it's not like the robber came in here with like a handgun or anything. He blasted into the Thunderdome here with a fucking boomstick. He's got the lumber. And yet, Tony doesn't give a fuck. This guy entered his domain. He's not trapped in here with the robber's trapped in here with Tony. This is when Tony's first alerted to the robber's presence here with the gun. You can't really see the exclamation point go over Tony's head like in Metal Gear because he's just not even like bothered at all. He's been alerted but doesn't give a fuck. Everyone around him starts ducking and complying, the safest thing you can do, but Tony's built a little different, so he's just going, to the wind with that. That's for the birds. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll and see if my team won with the recent game scores. And then he gets the gun shoved into his ribs. The robber tries to take his phone and Tony says, "Nope, not on my watch, Buster," and rips it back. That's just actual anime protagonist energy right there. Like, his power level is so far above the robbers that he just doesn't even register it as a real threat. It's just somewhat of a nuisance to Tony here. It's just crazy because this guy comes in here with a big gun. Like, we're not talking noisy cricket out of Men in Black. We're talking like meat. This guy comes in here with a big gun and Tony's just more relaxed than anything. It looks like he's listening to ASMR. Like, he's dozing off here. It's just no big deal to him.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robber's orders and hit the deck. He puts the barrel of that gun into your rib cage. What's going through your mind?
He was reaching for my phone at the same time, so what was going for my mind is, no, this is not going to happen.
That's just a menacing aura right there. I'm honestly impressed the robber didn't just leave after Tony took his phone back. Like, that is just, that's actually scary. Tony's just like, so he's reaching for my phone, and I said, nope, that's just not going to happen.
The surveillance video is silent. Now, Tovar is revealing what words were exchanged during his scary encounter.
He actually asked me, "I need the money out of your wallet." I just said, "I got $2 in my wallet and that's for my next beer." I actually told him, "Hey, since you're back there, get me a beer." He looked at me and says, "No, get your own beer."
Not only does Tony shake off the robber with the gun in his ribs like he's bulletproof, he starts shit-talking him. He starts going like Xbox Live mode. He's like, he's just taking the piss here. Like, of course, the surveillance camera is silent, so there's no way to know for sure if that's what he said, but I trust him. I really do. Like, I imagine he actually did say that, because he does say something. You can see it in the surveillance camera footage. He does say something to the robber when he's behind the bar after lighting up a cigarette. And I love the way he tells the story, too. He's just like, yeah, so told him, might as well make me a beer, right? And then I wrote his name in the death note. Also, I've got to say, God bless that bar's prices. If you're getting $2 beers there, you hold on to that tight. That's precious. I can't remember the last time there was a beer for $2 at any place I've been in Tampa. The amount of time Tony had this gun just pointed right at his face is just frightening. And yet Tony doesn't flinch at all, just lighting up the cigarette right in front of him. It just oozes intimidation, like his spiritual pressure like a character out of Bleach is on another level here. Now, obviously, this is the most dangerous way imaginable of handling a situation like this. It's extraordinarily lucky that Tony didn't end up just getting shot and killed here. It's extremely lucky that no one was hurt in this entire situation here. And I do want to mention the guy next to Tony. So as you can see, he's getting the gun shoved into his back to bring his wallet out and give him the money inside of it, which he does. He complies, which is the right thing to do. And then moments later, he also lights up a cigarette just like Tony. So now you have two dudes here just kind of hard fucking chilling, smoking a cigarette during this robbery. I guess Tony was just giving out chill pills, and this dude's like, alright, you know what, I'll just go ahead and start smoking a cigarette too, no reason to stress.
After taking money from other patrons, the robber forced the bartender to open the cash register. He took all the money, $200 in total. All the while, Tovar just sits there taking it all in. His advice for anyone else who finds themselves in a similar situation: don't do what he did.
If you don't want to get hurt and you're not sure, comply.
He is absolutely right. Tony's behavior here should not be emulated under any circumstances. The best thing you can do is comply, because it's just not worth getting killed over. You never know how unhinged the other person is. Like I said, Tony just got extremely lucky here. Like, this easily could have gone much, much worse, and it's just very fortunate that it didn't. Now, Tony seems like a great guy. Inside Edition actually did a follow-up with Tony the year after this happened, just to kind of see how he's doing and what's going on, and he just seems like a legitimate sweetheart.
Tony's been a master mechanic for 38 years and currently works at Century Tire and Auto in St. Louis, Missouri. His boss agrees with the headlines seen on Inside Edition's YouTube channel more than 50 million times.
Tony is the world's chillest man.
A master mechanic and a master at chilling. Even his boss seems like a super cool character. I love the way he comes in and says, "Tony is the world's chillest man." It reminds me of like an old radio show host. "Behold, the man who can chill under any circumstances, in a pool of sharks, in a pool of lava, in a pool. He can chill anywhere, in the face of bullets, the face of cannons. You can't stop him from chilling." I don't know, he just seems cool.
Inside this bar behind me is a regular watering hole.
I lived right there.
There are local neighbors that depend on coming here and feeling that they're safe, to have their refreshments, and to not be bothered.
Is there anything more wholesome? Just a mechanic and his boss and his friends going to the local bar just to shoot the shit.
Tony wants people to know that even though he seems untroubled by danger, he fought to have this seat at the bar.
I'm a very honest person, forthright, hardworking, and nobody is going to take what I have worked hard for, under any circumstances.
As for the suspect in the armed robbery case, Kevin Moore pleaded not guilty to charges against him. He remains behind bars as he's being held with no bond.
He actually wrote a letter while he was incarcerated and apologized to the bar. And we put that letter on the wall. And people ask me, well, what do you think about him? I said, you know what? If I met him again today, I'd ask him to pray with me.
Amen. And that's the most recent update I can find on Tony Tovar. That's just, I don't know, it's just so sweet. They then frame the apology note from the robber. Like, what the fuck? That's so cool. Again, definitely like the worst way ever of handling a robbery situation, because he could have just been shot and killed for it, but he didn't. And he seems like a really wholesome guy, and he's still earned that title, the world's chillest man. It's been quite a few years now, and I can't think of a more chill man in the world, at least none that pops into my head immediately. So yeah, I just wanted to tell the story of Tony Tovar, because it's been quite a while, and I haven't seen his name around in a long time. I hope he's doing well, I hope the bar is still doing well, and it's safe, and everyone there is safe. That's really about it. See ya.